Hey Sarah, what's up?
Nothing much. You?
Trying to listen to some sports talk radio. I can't hear a word.
Here, let me help. Give me your Mac. And pass the chips, too. Okay, so go to GoMile. Wait, how do you even work these Macs?
Wow, Sarah. You gotta use 2 fingers to scroll.
I got it. Okay, so like I was saying, go to GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com, you say?
Yeah, they have everything. Tons of sports shows, and on their website there are show schedules, a listen live button, links to their Facebook pages, and even a webcam.
Whoa, I can actually see them?
Seeming that you own a Mac, I thought you would know that.
Hey, don't go all Nancy Drew on me. I knew that.
Yeah, but check it out. It's on crystal clear internet radio, so no more issues.
Wow, thanks, Sarah.
Yep, I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks. Wait, where did my chips go?
The wave of the future is here. Don't get left behind. Listen to GoMileHigh.com.
The views and opinions contained within this show may be offensive. They may make you laugh. They may make you pissed off. They may even make you want to slap your own mother. But they do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of GoMileHigh.com or the Internet Streaming Corporation. And by the way, tell Mama we're sorry that had to happen.
Hi, this is Aaron the Candyman, and you're listening to Michael Titus, the Michael Titus Radio Show at GoMileHigh.com.
Hello and welcome once again to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. I am your host, the magnanimous moderator of meticulous mendacity, the Rocky Mountain Mouth, Michael Titus. And we're just 9 days away from the Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza, but more imminently, we are 4 days away from the NEW show. My goodness, I'm just so excited I can't even get it. It is just new era wrestling. It is just unbelievable. There's a big retirement match. There's a big title match. There's just a lot of things going on. And in hour number 2, I'm going to talk more about the Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza. Jack Mecidol will be in studio. But right now, here he is, the one and only Bronx. Bronx, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on, Titus.
Bronx, you know, there's been a lot of things. There's been a lot of speculation about what's going to happen, and I'm so glad, Moronic Morons, I got the opportunity to get him in studio. I promised that I'd get it there for you last week, and Bronx, you're here in studio, and, you know, basically, this is for all the marbles. This match is what it's all about. It is not only to regain that NEW title that you had, but it is also, you put your career on the line. Why did you feel so upset and so provoked that you had to do that? Because I remember it, because I was sitting right there doing commentary with Larry Nabisco, and I saw what was going through your face. You were just so red hot upset about that Kincaid took your title that night that you said, hey, this is it. I'm not going to take it anymore.
You're right, Michael. I was livid that night. I couldn't believe that I fell victim to Kincaid. You know, it's not the first time he's beat me, but for some reason, this one, it hurt the most. It felt like salt in the wound, you know, and like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years now. 10 of those years, he's been up and down the same roads with me. You know, I've fought him Kansas, Wyoming, wherever we could get a battle on, and I've lost to him. I've beat him several times, but you know what? I figure, you know, it's going to come down to the bottom line. This town is not big enough for the two of us, not to steal an old Western cliche, but it's either going to be him or me that's going to continue dominating this circuit, you know, for the next 10 years.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's kind of interesting that it happened the way that it did because for a while I think that Kincaid was scared of you. I really believe that he was scared of you, and he assumed and he made it, you know, clear that it was that Stephen Power was preventing him from getting a title shot and preventing him from facing you, Bronx. But I really believe that he just got lucky that night.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, it seems like he had been ducking and dodging me ever since I won the title, you know. Or as they said, I was handed the title, you know.
You know, okay, first of all, they had to vacate the title because of the fact that Aaron the Candyman was injured and was unable to compete. So the title was vacated, and Stephen Powers, like a smart man that he is, he decided to give it to a person that was deserving of the title. And at the same time, when Aaron the Candyman came back and you fought him, you still beat him.
I still beat him.
See?
Clean pinfall, 1, 2, 3.
No question about it. You were able to defeat Aaron the Candyman, and there was no possible way to anybody. It was irrefutable that you deserved that title.
unquestionable, no doubts about it. You know, when you have your top-notch wrestler, you know, your number one guy, that's who you put the belt on. You know, no questions asked.
Most definitely. And, you know, let's just dive right into it, because I think that a lot of the fans here in Colorado are unfamiliar with your background. And I understand that you've been putting out, you know, trivia questions on Facebook and asking people about your history and your roots here in Colorado wrestling. So why don't you just take it from day one? You know, and then what got you involved in wrestling? You know, who was it? It was your inspiration? And, you know, how did you, you know, step foot into did you get started with training? How did it all happen?
Yeah, like most wrestlers, you know, you got to start with being trained. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get hurt. You're going to hurt somebody else. So I started January 2000. I started training in Colorado with a company called CWO, which was the Central Wrestling Organization. The man that owned and ran that was Dan Magnus. He was actually known as a kickboxer at the time, but he, you know, knew professional wrestling. He had many contacts in that field. So I started training with there, and there was not too many guys that are still around have worked with them, because they've been gone for a long time. But when I started there, you know, we threw around. I was a natural talent, he said. You know, your charisma, your in-ring ability was there from the start. So, you know, like a lot of wrestlers, they come up with gimmicks, you know, a character to play, and they deemed me with the name Dark Angel. So we said, all right, this is a guy who's looking to kind of avenge some of the bad guys. So I was a babyface at the time, and you know, it was fun back then. You know, we had small areas, man, we packed 600-700 people into these little venues. I don't know how we did it, but they came out and they were loving every second of it, you know. And I'll tell you, those are the kind of the days I miss. You know, I wish we could get 600-700 people into a venue now.
Absolutely. And so you started with CWO, but did you grow up watching wrestling? Were you a fan of wrestling?
Always. You know, I think I saw my first wrestling match. It was AWA. And it was on ESPN, and when I was like, I think 5 or 6. And I don't remember exactly who the match was between, but I remember it was Superfly Snuka, and he was going on the top rope, and at the time he was feuding with Colonel De Beers. Mm-hmm. Well, Colonel De Beers hooked him with his cane, and Snuka went straight down to the concrete. They didn't have any mats around the ring back then. So, and all you see Snuka, a bloody mess, and, you know, after seeing that, I was hooked.
Right.
I was hooked.
And so, and this was the first opportunity with CWO that you actually found in the wrestling here in Colorado.
Yep, they were the first that I found in Colorado. I found them through actually, I think their school was Slam City. They ran it out in Aurora, and I found them through a newspaper article in the Rocky Mountain News.
Well, this is very interesting to me because of the fact that, you know, I've tried to understand the history of Colorado wrestling, and Larry Nelson was able to fill in some of the gaps, but of course his memory is not as good as it used to be, you know, and even though his rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated, it was still that he was able to help with a little bit. But when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking more about Bronx and seeing what we can do to find out about his history in wrestling leading up to his retirement match. Stay tuned for more. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Listen, here's Dylan Dave at GoMileHigh.com, and we offer to you 0% hassle. That's right. And since you're already here, get behind the wheel and test drive our website. We got new and used shows from MMA, soccer, rodeo, dodgeball, and every kind of sports we could think of. So when you think sports radio, think Dylan Dave at
GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Get your brand.
The unexpected in the horse world can be costly. Don't wait to have a claim to find out. Why not take advantage of the insurance experts that are in your backyard? Equisure, located right here in Colorado. Because Equisure employs insurance people who are horse owners, competitors, and equestrian participants. They really know the equestrian insurance industry inside and out. Their personal involvement means the insurance solutions are up to date and will work for you. To get a quote, visit equisure-inc.com or call 1-800-752-2472.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Living in Soviet Russia, we were forbidden to learn about great American game of baseball. But thanks to the internet and the program Extra Innings, I now know infield fly rule. I can tell comrades why chicks dig long ball. If you build it, why they come. I am now smartest man in all of Vladivostok. Also very tired. I have to stay up way past bedtime to listen, but you in mountains in America, and here at 12 noon on Tuesdays. Ron and Hannah, good Russian names, have made me feel like a big shot. But now I must go. Vodka break, very important. До свидания.
That's right, Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Public from any town in USA. Extra Innings is more filling than that 4th of July potato salad without the extra calories. Tune in to GoMileHigh.com on Tuesdays at noon for a satisfying heap of the great American pastime. That's right, we're talking baseball with all the trimmings. Tuesday at noon at GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
This is the best independent wrestler in the state of Colorado, the Superstar, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show. It's an overcast day here in the Belmar area of Lakewood, Colorado, and I'm just sitting here in studio under the covering so we don't get wet in here in the building with Bronx. And he was just telling me about the early days. We're just trying to understand his history and understand how it's come to what is going to happen here coming up on Sunday, his big retirement match at NEW. He started out with CWO, and if anybody was listening in when I had Larry Nelson on the program, he was talking about how there was IWA, then RMCW. Well, during the break, I was talking with Bronx, and he explained to me that CWO kind of started around the same time as RMCW. So whether or not it indeed branched off of it or it just came into fruition just like RMCW did, just out of nowhere, who knows? But Central Wrestling Organization, you got your start there. You started out as Dark Angel, and I understand that your first main event was against a guy named Corpse, and Jay Sin was able to answer that question correctly?
That's correct, and I imagine that was back in 2003, wrestling for HVW, High Velocity Wrestling. And I figured if anybody could probably get that right, it would have been him because he was there at that time. He was just a newbie then.
Really? Okay.
And boy, was he wasn't nearly as big as he is now. He's a big old farm boy now. Jeez.
So CWO, did HVW branch off of that, or how did that come about?
I believe that the guys that opened up HVW, I believe they started at some time in the CWO as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably only might not even been quite a year after CWO had decided to go under. But
how long was CWO around?
I believe they opened their doors in '99.
Okay.
And then the owner, he ended up selling to somebody else, I think, and moved to California or something. And after that, it just I don't think the guys had the financial ability to keep it afloat.
Right. Okay. So how long you were with them from 2000 to how long?
I was only there in the year 2000. I had some personal issues I had to take care of after that, and then I resurfaced in late 2002 and early 2003 with High Velocity and another promotion, Mile High Pro Wrestling.
Okay, so there was another promotion that I never even heard about, Mile High Pro Wrestling.
Yep, they also, an unfortunate story, same thing. Owner had big dreams, but didn't have the resources to keep it afloat. We did, I only remember doing a couple of actual indoor shows. We did a lot of outdoor shows with them in the summertime.
So would you say that they're very much similar to like NCCW, Northern Colorado Championship Wrestling, that was run by Jack Mecidol and a few other people? That just was around for a short time period, but they just didn't have the financial backing to keep it afloat?
That would probably be it. That's something you really need, especially if you're going to go on an independent circuit. People don't understand how the type of resources it really takes to run these businesses.
It's more than just setting up a ring and then people are going to come and buy tickets to see you.
Exactly. You got to, you got to have the money for the ring.
Yes.
So if you don't have the ring, these things start at like $3,000.
Yes, they do.
You got to have the money for the venue.
Mm-hmm.
Every promoter here in Colorado, unless they have some kind of connection, pays for that venue that they have, and a lot of places will charge you upwards of $500 for that venue.
Most definitely.
You got to have, advertising.
Yes.
That seems to be one of the hardest things throughout is, people, and it's not cheap to do anything.
No.
I give it up to Primos right now running their TV commercials on Altitude, and I think I've caught a couple of them on Fox. That takes some good investment, and it's been paying off for them. They have been turning out some incredible crowds. But advertising, promoting, that's one of the biggest things you have to do, and you have to have the finances to do in order to. That's how you fill the seats.
Yes, most definitely. And so, all right. So you went from CWO, you took some time off, and then you came back for HVW, High Velocity Wrestling, and you also worked for Mile High. What is it? Mile High Pro Wrestling. And then what happened after that?
After that, I just wrestled for them for a while, and then in early 2007, I got a phone call from a good friend of mine, Joey, who you guys all know as Prodigy, telling me IWF was going to open their doors again, and they wanted me to come work for them. And that was a company I hadn't worked for in maybe 2003 when I was floating around to everybody. I might have worked for them a little bit then, and I was like, I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, they started running shows at Cervantes downtown, drawing good crowds, and in 2007, I think Fusion was the only other company around at the time.
I would imagine so, and then RMCW off and on.
Yeah, RMCW kind of fluctuated between running shows.
Yeah.
So it was Fusion and us, and when IWF came back, it was huge.
Yeah,
it was like, all right, finally another company in town that people can go see.
And now, were you Dark Angel this entire time?
Nope. In 2003, I switched over to Bronx.
Did you really? Okay.
Yep. I decided to go back to where my, I feel my roots lie back into the heart of New York.
Then tell me all about Bronx. Tell me all about who is Bronx.
Bronx originally was the New York street thug. I was recruited in Mile High. I was recruited by a clique called the East Coast Connection, and they wanted me out there to be their muscle. And if you would have seen, Matt Wild was one of the head guys there, and if you would have seen him, you'd know why he needed muscle.
Yes, I've seen Matt Wild. I know.
So that's where we originated that, and that I was just a technically sound wrestler who could get in there and just ground and pound with the best of them. So we decided to go that route, and everywhere I've gone, that is just, it's been the same. I'm the technical wrestler who can get in there and box with you if he needs to, and everybody felt to
from the mean streets of New York.
Exactly.
And it's taken you, and so then you got with IWF, and then that's where your kind of home away from home has been for the last 5 years.
Yep, that's where the money came in.
There was money?
Well, I'm money.
Oh yes, of course, and you know what? We're gonna get into, because I like money. I'm good. We gotta always talk about money. So I mean, when we get back from the break, we're most definitely gonna talk about money. We're gonna continue to talk about Bronx. We're gonna talk about everything else, all of his IWF days, how he enjoyed it, how he didn't enjoy it. Maybe there were some things he didn't like about it, but we're gonna talk about all of that plus more. Stay tuned for more. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Check out our fan page while you listen.
Facebook.com/Go Mile High.
Or just enter Go Mile High in the search bar.
Duh.
Picture this. You're at home and you have no radio signal. All you get is static. So instead of hearing the latest news in the sports world, you're singing in the shower. Come on now, you owe it to yourself to have GoMileHigh.com streaming live through your computer while you're in the comfort of your own home.
Yes, quite absolutely right.
Online and worldwide. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
The unexpected in the horse world can be costly. Don't wait to have a claim to find out. Why not take advantage of the insurance experts that are in your backyard? Equisure, located right here in Colorado. Because Equisure employs insurance people who are horse owners, competitors, and equestrian participants. They really know the equestrian insurance industry inside and out. Their personal involvement means the insurance solutions are up to date and will work for you. To get a quote, visit equisure-inc.com or call 1-800-752-2472.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
That was unbelievable!
Hey, man, wake up.
Whoa, what just happened?
You got knocked out in 25 seconds.
What did I do wrong? I thought I was doing pretty good.
I'm not the analyst type, but if you listen to MMA Uncensored, they can tell you what you did wrong and what you can change so you don't get your butt kicked again.
Wait, what was that again?
It's MMA Uncensored. They're on every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. on GoMileHigh.com.
Sweet, I'll have to listen. Hold on, have you always had 3 heads?
I think we need to get you to the hospital.
MMA Uncensored, every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. on GoMileHigh.com.
The views and opinions contained within this show may be offensive. They may make you laugh, they may make you pissed off, they may even make you want to slap your own mother. But they do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of GoMileHigh.com or the Internet Streaming Corporation. And by the way, tell Mama we're sorry that had to happen.
Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
This is the Canadian Pitbull, Eric Angel, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back. This is the Michael Titus Show, and Moronic Morons, I've got to correct something. A couple of weeks ago when we had or last week rather, when I had Superstar on the program, and I was talking about an individual who was commenting on a post on Facebook. His name is Sangre Latina. He's a local luchador wrestler here in Colorado, so I wanted to let everyone know that, yes, I remembered the name now. It is Sangre Latina. So for all of those who thought I was mistaken or didn't know what I was talking about, I do indeed know what I'm talking about. So, but anyway, we're talking to Bronx here. We're talking about IWF. And for those of you who don't know anything about IWF, who weren't paying attention to Larry Nelson or any of the other people that I brought onto the program, IWF started in 2001. It was a kind of a conglomeration between Beetlejuice and Tamra, and I would imagine there was a couple other people. And they ran the shows for a while, but then when unfortunately Beetlejuice passed away, Tamara took some time off in terms of running her shows, and then in 2007 she decided to bring it back because she knew that that's what Beetlejuice would have wanted for the legacy to continue and for the greatness that IWF is and was to continue. And so therefore that's where you got a phone call and they asked you to come aboard, and so please tell me about your time in IWF and what your experiences were, maybe some funny stories, and how this Joey Kincaid involves his involvement in IWF with you.
Well, I can relate Joey Kincaid to my first match back with IWF. Okay. It was their first match in June of 2007, Cervantes, and they brought me in at the time as a babyface, and which that's not something Bronx does. No. And so Kincaid, who was a member of a group called The Firm, who was still in my eyes by far one of the most dominant groups in
I've heard
Colorado
about them,
independent wrestling. And they had me face him. He got the upper hand on me that night, and he put my shoulders on the mat. And then 2 months later, in August, I came back, and because I was when they ran their show in July, I was out in California working, and I came back in August, and lo and behold, I think this is where Kincaid started worrying a little bit. They wanted to bring me in as a member of The Firm.
Really? Okay.
So I continued. I accepted because The Firm is where you made the money.
You were talking about the money, and that's why I wanted to know more about this money.
Those were the guys. They're the ones that had that financial backing. Crisp suits,
I've seen some of your suits. They're
good
crisp.
Paydays. The brains behind it, Miss Tamara. She took care of her boys. As long as her boys went out and took care of business, she took care of them. So I joined up with them, and
those indeed were the glory days.
Exactly. The Money Man, Vince Vaughn. We had all these guys, and we didn't screw around. If you had a target on your head, we were the ones that took the bounty and took care of it.
Awesome.
And that was, that was where we had a lot of fun with that too. You go out there, and there's nothing better than getting paid to go beat somebody up.
Most definitely.
People say, wrestling's fake. Wrestling's scripted. Why don't you, Hoodlum, right?
Yes.
Why don't you give him a call? Ask him about a couple of scars he's got on the back of the head from some crutch pieces.
I'm looking to see about if I can get Hoodlum on the program next week. So I might
there
have
you
to
go. You might have to ask him that. He'll tell you. There's times when, sure, maybe you get handed a script, but when you're a wrestler, you look at that and you throw it away because you already know what you're going to do out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when we ran with the firm, nobody was better than us. Nobody.
In what way? I mean, was it your wrestling ability, the dominance that you had? I mean, explain, elaborate.
It was everything. Wrestling, nobody beat us. We controlled IWF pretty much. If we wanted something done, it got done the way we wanted it done. We got kind of upended one time. We were having a little problem with a group called Justice Inc. and a couple other guys, which I don't know if you remember Justice, him, Hoodlum. At one point, I think Jay Sin ran with those guys. And at the time, we were having problems with Jay Sin, so we thought we'd bring somebody out to take care of business for us. And we brought out the one and only Jerry Lynn.
Okay.
I handed him an envelope to take care of some business that night. That was a nice fat check for at least $1,000. I know Tamara wrote it for at least that. And that guy, that no-class act, tore up that piece of that check right in front of my face and said he doesn't do this for money.
What? Who doesn't do anything for money? I mean, come on. Money makes the world go round.
I'm like, that's how we make our living doing this business.
Give me $100 and watch me smile. I mean, come on.
All right, I give you $100 right now. You go out there and kick that guy's ass out on the street.
Absolutely. I got a price. Everybody's got a price.
See, everybody's got a price,
But I mean, for $1,000, you wouldn't want to take a check like that? What's wrong with Jerry
Lynn? He wouldn't
Lynn?
want to take a check like that and we wanted him to take apart Justice that night. I know I said Jay Sin earlier, and I got ahead of myself. So instead, I booked the match to make him fight Jay Sin. And back then, he was a lot bigger than he was 5 years ago. So he went out there and he beat the crap out of Jerry Lynn.
See, what's surprising to me is that look at Jerry Lynn today. Jerry Lynn is a shell of a man. I've seen him. He's not what he used to be, and he needs all the help he can get. And if he would have just listened to you guys, listened to the firm,
if he would have listened to us, he could have had that extra money.
He could have been financially set for life if he would have worked with you guys and continue to work with you. I mean,
exactly,
come on,
exactly.
There's just things you got to do.
You do one good job for us, there will be more.
More, absolutely. When one door opens, when one closes, another one opens. There's just more opportunities galore when you work with the firm. That's what I've heard.
Exactly. You take those opportunities as they come and you roll with it, and then guess what? You're rolling in the money. Absolutely. You get to take care of it then.
See? There's just a lot of people out there that would learn. If they would pay attention and learn, there could be so many opportunities and money would just be flashed right in front of their faces. And I'm trying to tell that. I've talked to a lot of guys. See, not only am I a manager extraordinaire, but I own a couple of companies, or at least I did own until I offloaded one. So, I mean, there's a lot of times that there's things that goes on, and if they would just listen to me, money is to be had. There's money to be had right there. And, I want to get more into about IWF. I want to find out more about this thing with Kincaid, because obviously there's been some rocky past between the two of you after this firm and everything that went on with that. So we're going to get back with that. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Check out our fan page while you listen.
Facebook.com/GoMileHigh.
Or just enter Go Mile High in the search bar.
Duh.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Sarah. What's up?
Nothing much. You?
Trying to listen to some sports talk radio. I can't hear a word.
Here, let me help. Give me your Mac. And pass the chips, too. Okay, so go to GoMile. Wait, how do you even work these Macs?
Wow, Sarah. You got to use 2 fingers to scroll.
I got it. Okay, so like I was saying, go to GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com, you say?
Yeah, they have everything. Tons of sports shows, and on their website there are show schedules, a listen live button, links to their Facebook pages, and even a webcam.
Whoa, I can actually see them?
Seeming that you own a Mac, I thought you would know that.
Hey, don't go all Nancy Drew on me. I knew that.
Yeah, but check it out. It's on crystal clear internet radio, so no more issues.
Wow, thanks, Sarah.
Yep, I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks. Wait, where did my chips go?
The wave of the future is here. Don't get left behind. Listen to GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
What's going on?
What's happening?
What's up with
GoMileHigh.com.
Hey, basketball fans, the Colorado Kings are making a run at history. Don't miss your chance to catch the nation's #1 ranked ABA basketball team right here on GoMileHigh.com. Every Friday at 1 p.m., you can get the inside scoop on the team with head coach Eric Stoffel on the Colorado Kings Coaches Show. You can also catch live play-by-play of the Kings' Sunday home games right here on GoMileHigh.com. For more information on games, times, or tickets, check out GoMileHigh.com or ColoradoKings.com.
Living in Soviet Russia, we were forbidden to learn about great American game of baseball. But thanks to the internet and the program Extra Innings, I now know infield fly rule. I can tell comrades white chicks dig long ball. If you build it, why they come. I am now smartest man in all of Vladivostok. Also very tired. I have to stay up way past bedtime to listen, but you in mountains in America can hear at 12 noon on Tuesdays. Ron and Hannah, good Russian names, have made me feel like a big shot. But now I must go. Vodka break, very important. До свидания.
That's right, Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Public from any town in USA. Extra Innings is more filling than that 4th of July potato salad without the extra calories. Tune in to GoMileHigh.com on Tuesdays at noon for a satisfying heap of the great American pastime. That's right, we're talking baseball with all the trimmings. Tuesday at noon at GoMileHigh.com.
Broadcasting from Belmar, Lakewood, Colorado, USA. Go Mile High. Streaming globally at GoMileHigh.com.
This is the counterculture superhero Trajan Ender coming to you from the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. Sitting here with Bronx. We're talking about IWF, and we're talking about how...
Michael, I hate to interrupt you, but you have a phone call.
Wait.
We're doing an interview here, man.
Don't you understand that the Bronx is in studio?
You got to call. It's very important.
Who could possibly want to call in and interrupt Bronx?
I have no idea, but do you want me to put him on for you?
Sure, let's find out.
Let's find out who this guy is.
All right.
Interrupt me.
Who's this jokester? Come on.
Jokester? This is Kincaid.
Wait a minute.
Who's on the other end?
What are you doing interrupting my interview time, Kincaid?
I'm going to take over, just like I did your championship.
Wait a minute, that was a fluke. You just got lucky. There was a wet spot in the mat. Stephen Powers was distracted. That's what happened, and you just got lucky.
I've never been lucky in my career. I've always kicked ass and taken what I wanted, so I don't consider that luck.
I think that was a handful of luck that you had last month, sir.
Well, I pinned you 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, as many times I've kicked out of pinfalls, it's kind of hard to get up when you got an extra 80 pounds on top of you.
That's right. That's not my fault you can't compete.
It's not that he can't compete. It's like, how can he, you've got to understand, Kincaid, sometimes someone as large as you, I don't even think the fans understand that a big 300-pound man like you, it's going to take a lot of strength and determination on the part of Bronx over here. And you know what? If you would have just taken the money from the start that Stephen Powers was offering you, you would have been a wealthy man, and you and your family would have been set for life if you would have just listened to Stephen Powers.
That's not what I want, though. I can get money from anywhere. I can earn it. I can make it. I could steal it. But a championship, though, that's a whole different story. I
Exactly.
can't buy that.
Just like the money. You can steal it.
You stole the title. You stole the title from Bronx.
I pinned him.
Roll me up on my shoulders, pull my tights, put all your weight on me.
Owner give me the belt. I believe Candyman was the champion, and due to an injury, you got the belt. You didn't even pin him for the belt.
He did.
Oh, but I did pin him in January when I faced him.
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow. So you finally earned it after 6 months.
Hey, I defended it for 3 straight months. I defended against all comers. Where were you, Kincaid?
Kurt Chaos?
Where were you?
Handpicked by the owner?
He gave me some of the toughest competition in New Era today.
Hey, Kurt Chaos should have been lucky that Stephen Powers gave him an opportunity. I mean, hey, he barred him from ringside the last show because of that concussion, so Kurt Chaos got an opportunity to go up against the champion, the NEW champion, which he'll never get again.
They got the opportunity to shine one night, That doesn't happen very often. You get the opportunity to shine, and then what happens is you get beat down.
Never won in wrestling ever? Get the title shot against a champion? Come on. Talk about rigged.
Rigged? There was no rigging involved.
Who'd you face before that?
I think it was like the lost soul, Tony Ortega, who's now down cutting his teeth in Mexico. They don't just let any Joe Schmo
down there too.
They don't let any Joe Schmo down there.
Oh, they need a whipping post.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Kincaid.
I've never seen Bronx defend his championship against somebody good.
Well,
so he can, finally.
I guess Candyman is not that good then, huh?
Well, I beat him.
Look at this.
So did I.
People are trying to disparage Aaron the Candyman at this particular point in time. But listen here, Kincaid. I'm putting all my money on Bronx coming up this Sunday night. I bet you that he will defeat you. I'm going to bet you 50-1 that he's going to beat you because I believe in the abilities of this man. This man has been able to defeat you before, and he's going to defeat you again.
I'm not taking anything away from him. I just know he's not as good as me. So, go ahead and put your money on him because you're going to lose.
Yeah, but I know you got those bum knees.
Well, a bum knee.
That's why I wear not after I'm done with you on Sunday.
Okay. I'm okay.
You could have crutches by the end of Sunday. You could be wound up in a wheelchair for life. You could fall one false move and
give me another weapon to beat somebody with. I mean, come on. You think a crutch is going to stop me? A bum knee? I'm already champion.
Yeah, but that's only a matter of time because I know Bronx is capable of defeating you 1, 2, 3 in the middle of that ring. But you know what, Kincaid? I'm glad that you called in. I'm glad that you actually, stuck your nose in this in Bronx's business because you've done it like you've done it all the time before. And I want to ask you a question. What happened between you and Bronx, and what happened with the falling out of the firm?
Well, it was management at the time, pretty much. Kind of had conflict of interest with the owner and the person who ran the firm. I never really had an issue with Bronx. So, I left for greener pastures.
So you left him high and dry. That's what you did, didn't you? You left a great and fantastic athlete just like Bronx, and you left him high and dry because you thought it was going to be better somewhere else, even though this man is the moneymaker.
What? He was not the moneymaker.
I beg to differ from what all I've heard about the firm. This man was the moneymaker.
Well, you were gone. I was the one making the money, putting asses in seats.
So I was drawing more fans up in another city in Colorado. I'm sorry, winning belts.
So see, just because he saw a rise to mediocrity, then that pales in comparison to all your greatness.
I guess so. I guess it doesn't. I guess that pales in my IWF championship reign or tag team title reigns where I carried every partner I had.
We were champions together.
So Kincaid, obviously you are, very confident in your abilities come Sunday because you did indeed how lucky you were to be able to defeat Bronx last month. But do you really believe wholeheartedly that you're going to be able to defeat him once again this Sunday?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. Why would I doubt myself?
Well,
I'm a professional athlete and champion. Why would I doubt myself?
Well, at the same time, you've got to realize, I posed the same question to him last week when he called into my show. I'm going to pose the same question to you. What if you lose? What if, just perchance you lose? What's to come for Kincaid?
I get to become a father, a full-time father. I'm going to be that anyway, but at least I won't have to worry about getting injured or hurt or broken bones, torn ligaments anymore.
See, now I think that's the wiser decision. I think you should just stay home and raise your kids and just be happy.
I agree.
That's not going to happen. My son's not born yet. And when after I win, he'll still get to see me kick some ass in wrestling, and we'll get to watch Bronx go away. How's that sound?
If only if he watches you on videotape.
Well, that all remains to be seen this Sunday night. It is indeed New Era Wrestling at the Buffalo Rose in Golden, Colorado. Kincaid, you may have gotten lucky last month, but I'm telling you what, this is going to be Bronx's time to shine. He is going to regain that title and become a 2-time NEW champion. There's still more to come for the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
Hey, sports fans, go to beonair.com to find out how you can launch a career in sports broadcasting. I'm Katie Mitchell, and I graduated from the Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus. In less than a year, I got the hands-on experience I needed to start a career where I get paid to watch and talk about sports. While attending the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, I scored an internship and have been on air ever since. So if you want to work in sports radio like me, text FANS to 33239. Classes start soon, so text FANS, that's FANS, to 33239 today.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Ugh, finally. Let's see what's on. Nope. Too fuzzy. Ugh. What? Come on. It's terrible. I can't understand a word that you're saying. That's it. I've had enough. www.gomilehigh.com. Enter.
You've been working hard.
Yeah, I have.
Take a break.
All right.
A lot of fun today. Get behind the scenes.
All right, I can actually hear what they're saying. This is so much better.
Today on the Press Box.
Why even bother with a fuzzy radio signal when you can get crystal clear sports radio streaming live off your computer? You don't even need to mess with any dials. Just type in www.gomilehigh.com and click on the Listen tab. Ride the wave of the future with GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
This is the gold standard Michael Madoff. You're listening to the Rocky Mountain Mouth Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com. Bank.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show. Joey Kincaid so rudely interrupted this fantastic interview that I'm having with Bronx here. He is just jealous and upset that he's going to lose his title this Sunday night to you, Bronx, and he's going to have to retire. And I don't know why he just can't be satisfied with just being a family man and going home and being with his family and raising the kids that he will eventually have.
Unbelievable that he would interrupt my interview time.
But so like him, too, isn't it?
So very like him. So rude, an incompetent piece of trash.
But, during the break, Stephen Powers contacted me, and he informed me that if there's anyone at home, no matter if you're in your car, you're sitting at your computer, wherever you are listening to the program, you need to call in, and the first caller will get 2 tickets for this Sunday's show at the Buffalo Rose.
I like the sentiment, but you don't make any money giving things away.
I know, I understand that, but he feels that he wants to have these 2 special VIP guests to see your greatest match of all time.
There's no doubt about it. It is going to be my greatest match. It is probably going to be Kincaid's greatest match. Hell, it could be one of Colorado's greatest matches of all time.
You're going to be pushing him to the limits?
Everything. I'm going to bring everything I have. Kincaid needs to be prepared to bring 150%, because if he falls short of that, he's going to lose.
You're going to pounce, you're going to take advantage of it, and you're going to be victorious, just like you've had in all of your previous matches that you've ever had before.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no, maybe I did have a couple of lesser-known guys throwing at me before, but, Mr. Powers just wanted to see if I would take the initiative, if I was just going to, let him sit on the back burner. These guys aren't competition, I can sit here and lollygag all day. No, what I did, I took him to the house. I took him in there, I did what I do, and I won.
Absolutely. And, at the same time, these guys were given opportunities that they probably will never get again.
They were.
Like Kurt Chaos, he suffered concussions after concussions, and now all of a sudden, he can say in the record books that he had a title match against Bronx.
Exactly. He got a title match. He was offered a title match. He was offered an opportunity to step up to the plate and see if he could hit the ball.
Absolutely.
Sadly for him, he struck out.
He struck out most definitely, and he is indeed one of the batters of NEW, that's for sure. He likes to carry around aluminum baseball bats.
Yeah,
but
I've noticed that.
Yes, and even though he's able to have a concussion, he's able to swing that bat and attack Michael Madoff, which here in a short I'll talk about the entire card that's going to be going down Sunday night, and cards are always subject to change, but this is what is tentatively planned. This is what Stephen Powers has informed me is what is supposed to happen. And but I want to know from you, Bronx, is there any memorable, some funny stories, something that you would like to share to the listening audience about your illustrious 12 years in the wrestling business?
I'll try and to save other people's reputations, I'll leave some of the funny stories out because we got a lot of good road stories. Maybe we'll talk about those off air.
Most definitely.
But one of my most memorable matches was back in, I want to say it was 2009. IWF did their version of Money in the Bank, calling it the Bankroll, which was it was a triple threat match between myself, Trajan Ender, and Chris Rath, who, whoever won that got a briefcase that guaranteed them a title shot whenever they so chose to use it. At the time, they were also running a tournament to crown a new IWF champion. Well, it just so happened that as soon as those tournament finals were over, Hoodlum emerged victorious. He is the one. He ended up winning the tournament, won the title. And I felt it my just due to ruin his celebration, come down, cash in my bankroll, and take the IWF championship.
It's a fortuitous moment. That's all it is. You just pounced on the opportunity, and no one can ever say a bad word towards you for doing something such as that. Exactly. You got to take the like we were saying earlier. You got to take the opportunities that are handed to you. I had that opportunity. I went in there, challenged him, and I took his title. Most definitely, most definitely. So there you go. Was that your first IWF title reign? That was my first IWF championship reign. I ironically previously held the tag team championships with Hoodlum. With Hoodlum. Uh-huh. As he was, as members of the firm when I brought him into that group. And was he grateful for that opportunity? I think he was initially grateful for the opportunity to join the firm, and opened up a lot of new doors for him. But in the end, I left him hanging because he was very ungrateful. He did not respect the opportunities that I had given him. Big head? Very much so. Very, very big ego on that boy. That's unfortunate, but of course, Hoodlum, he is still to this day is having his issues and his problems with people because he feels that he deserves that main event spot, and from what I've seen as of late, he quite possibly could deserve a shot at it, even though people have been not allowing him to work his way up to the main event picture. So, hopefully maybe next week I'll have him in studio and we'll get those questions answered and see what's going on with that. But you know what, Bronx, there's just so much that is riding on this match. And I've said it time and time again. It's not so much about the title, which that is an important thing. That's the coveted prize for NEW. The big paydays that come along with being the champion. I mean, you get so much more to being and working so hard to being the champion, so much more money, so much more accolades, and then at the same time, you're putting your career on the line. And I posed this question to you last week when you called in, but is there really anything else? Is this all, you have to get the title and win the match, or what are you going to do? This is everything, right now I don't even care about the title. This is my match, this is my career, this is my livelihood on the line. It's win or go home. If I don't win this match, I'm done. Gone. I mean, this isn't, a Ric Flair retirement. This, where I can come back and wrestle for somebody else. This is gone. Kincaid, myself, one of us is leaving professional wrestling for good. Unbelievable. Absolutely going to be an amazing contest. And when we get back from the break, I'm going to run down all of the matches that are scheduled to be for this Sunday night at the Buffalo Rose in Golden, Colorado. New Era Wrestling. So you need to stay tuned for more. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Check out our fan page while you listen.
Facebook.com/Go Mile High.
Or just enter Go Mile High in the search bar.
Duh. Did you see the game last night?
No.
Me neither. Wish I knew the score.
Hey, what's that up in the sky?
It's a long drive.
It's a pop fly. It's Superfan!
Did I hear someone in need of sports?
Oh, yes! Superfan! I need sports.
Well then, GoMileHigh.com is what you need. We've got all the sports you can handle.
Oh, thank you, Superfan.
Catch your breath.
Hey, John, why do you keep hitting yourself in the head with that hammer?
Well, I found this really great home. It's a Fannie Mae foreclosure, and it needs some renovations, but I don't know who to talk to about getting financing on this type of home.
You should call the mortgage team of Jennifer Hill and Matt Harris at American Liberty Mortgage. They were able to get me and my husband a renovation loan, and we were able to finance all the rehab costs.
Really?
Yeah, and they're really easy to work with, and interest rates are really low right now.
Do you have their number?
Of course I do. You can call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042. That's 303-901-6042. Now put that hammer on the ground and back away slowly.
Colorado sports lifestyle.
Catch your breath.
Go Mile High.
The Press Box, broadcasting live every weekday from 3 to 5, is the flagship program on GoMileHigh.com. Get caught up on all your Colorado sports and beyond.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
You never know when a Super Bowl winning quarterback will join the show to talk about Denver's Field General.
We have a special guest from the NFL Network, former quarterback Joe Theismann on the phone line.
I thought that he was exactly what Tim has been. I would hope that he doesn't wait till the last 5 minutes of every game to get everybody out of their seats and cheering.
You got us thinking about what are some of your favorite coaching meltdowns?
My favorite comes from the college ranks. Mike Gundy with Oklahoma State. He went off on the famous "I'm a man, I'm 40."
I'm a man, I'm 40.
The Press Box. Streaming live at GoMileHigh.com and all synced up on Facebook. Search Go Mile High.
I want you to get up now. Go to the window, open it, stick your head out and yell.
The Press Box, weekdays from 3 to 5
on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
This is the most watched superstar of Colorado, Wayne DeWayne, and you are watching The Michael Titus Show.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show. This is Bronx sitting in with him, doing a little interview, talking about the New Era show coming up this Sunday. It's a big, big night.
Well, I understand that the gold standard, Michael Madoff, who has been on my show here, is going to be going up against this relative unknown called Victor. I don't know who Victor is, what Victor is capable of, but
I don't either.
Quite possibly Mr. Madoff will just decimate him, quite very easily. It's not going to take a lot of work on his part.
Nah, I'm sure he's got this one in the bag.
And then, of course, Black Ops. Black Ops will be in attendance, and they're going up against Danger Zone.
Danger Zone. Those guys are wild and crazy. Remember me a little bit of the Rock and Roll Express,
Quite possibly.
A little bit, but
Danger
Black
Dean
Ops,
and
Black Ops is tough, man. Eric
Bruce
Angel.
Rogers.
Payne. Good luck. Good luck, Danger Zone.
They're almost unstoppable.
Almost.
And then, of course, the superstar who was on the program last week will be taking on Sam Udell, a young up-and-comer for New Era Wrestling. And then, of course, Jinsu. Jinsu, the big man, the big powerhouse, the king of crazy, the man who I believe makes Madman Pondo look like a pussycat. He is a scary individual, that Jinsu is, and he's going up against Rob Rison, the teen heartthrob, with his record producer, the legendary Shawn Matthews.
Rison, let me just give you these words of advice. Jinsu uses guys like you as a toothpick.
Most definitely.
You're in a lot of trouble, sir.
That's why I really believe that if Rob Rison is going to be victorious in that match, he's going to need all the help that his record producer can provide to him.
I concur.
And then I understand the Border Crashers have disbanded. There are no more. That coming up this Sunday night, Johnny Crash will be taking on Robert Romero.
Good for him. I can't stand that Robert Romero guy.
He's a little too cocky and too big for his britches.
A little too big for his britches. You ought to think about getting some tights that fit. Johnny Crash, always liked that guy. I'm looking for him to take it to Romero like nobody else.
Most definitely. And then I understand that, of course, like I talked about, Dooley Trailer has suffered that nerve damage, so he is no longer going to be able to either wrestle or ring announce for New Era Wrestling for a while. So instead of Brokeback Billy trying to go after Dooley Trailer once again, he's going to go up against Jay Sin, the Razorback. A tall challenge, indeed.
Indeed. I see Jay Sin break Brokeback Billy in half.
And, this next match that I'm going to talk about is kind of an interesting match, okay? Now, Unfortunately, because I did fire Jason Knoll from the NRW contract, he's fired from Titus Enterprises, somehow he's still obligated to a New Era contract. Therefore, because my interests are still to make money off of this kid, I'm going to do whatever I can to see if he can be victorious. If he is victorious, then I'll consider bringing him back into the fold. If not, goodbye Jason Knoll, even from New Era. But he's going up against Chris Von Lohr.
That guy's just lost his mind lately.
Chris Von Lohr, I don't understand what's going on with him. He's involving himself with Alexis Vane, a very disgusting individual who is constantly harassing me. But most importantly, the main event of the night, it's all for the marbles. It's for the NEW title, but it's for the retirement match. Bronx, you're going up against Joey Kincaid. It's going to be the biggest match of your life. It's just going to be a big night of action. So there's just so much to come. But you know what? This is the first hour of the Michael Titus Show. We're wrapping it up. Thank you, Bronx, for being here in studio.
Thank you for having me, everybody. Don't forget, New Era show this Sunday, March 11th. Show starts at 6 p.m. Buffalo Rose in Golden, Colorado. Be there.
All right. This is the Michael Titus Show. Coming up in hour number 2 is Jack Mecidol. Stay tuned for more on GoMileHigh.com.
Live streaming sports and lifestyle, sonically and visually. GoMileHigh.com.
Yo, this is Aaron.
Hey, this is Travis. This is Ron. This is Jeff.
Hey, what's poppin'? This is Kayla.
Hi, this is Debbie.
What up? This is Angel B.
What's up? This is Ronnie Lee.
Hey, what's crackin'? I'm Jen So.
Yo, this is Jake P.
Hi, I'm Margie.
Hey, I'm Chris.
How y'all doing? This is Aspen.
What's up? This is Darren.
This is Michael Titus.
Hey, I'm Dave.
Hey, I'm Nicole.
What up? I'm Philly Mets.
What's good? It's Ricky Schroeder.
I'm Kevin. And I'm Jazz. We all love local sports, so we all listen to GoMileHigh.com. Catch your breath.
This isn't your grandfather's baseball show talking about Babe Ruth stats.
Yeah, you keep telling me that. Who is she?
The Babe once played all 9 positions in 6 innings.
The Colossus of Cloud. The Colossus of Cloud.
Babe Ruth once ate 23 hot dogs before a game.
The King of Crash.
I once saw the Babe hit a home run 684 feet.
The Great Bambino.
None of that is true. But if you listen to The Hot Corner every Saturday from noon to 1, host Greg Kimmick will give you a real fun fact about baseball history.
Fun fact question of the week. Which pitcher has the most wins during the lifetime of Jerry Garcia? The lefty, Steve Carlton. There are 3 players who have hit at least 100 home runs in their career with 3 different teams. Reggie Jackson, Darrell Evans, and Alex Rodriguez.
Fly around the bases and slide in safe at the Hot Corner with Greg Kimmick.
Listen to the Hot Corner every Saturday from 12 to 1, only on
Go Mile High.
Babe Ruth!
From the vantage point, Mafatu saw 6 war canoes drawn up on the beach. But what held the boy's eyes in awful trance were the figures, the eaters of men, cannibals. Mafatu watched the strange scene, powerless to move. In that very instant, he heard a crashing in the undergrowth. 4 figures were tearing through the jungle. He turned and ran blindly down the trail, thinking only of his canoe. If only he could reach it before the savages overtook him. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book Call It Courage by Armstrong Sperry. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
Looking for a horseback riding instructor, barn, or stable? Visit CHAinstructors.com, home of the Certified Horsemanship Association, certified riding instructors, and accredited equine facilities, and know that you are choosing a person or barn that has gone through an extensive safety educational course and will treat you and your family right. CHA has been the leader in horsemanship safety education for over 40 years and has many DVDs and publications available to all horse lovers. Visit CHAinstructors.com today.
Oh, dude, look over there. Wow. Oh, forget that. Look what just came around the corner. I'll buy her a hot dog. Holy smokes, is this not the greatest place on earth? How about the one in the red? No, the next row down. Wait a second. Uh-huh. Is that her mom? Her too. Nice.
Oh, dude, the nails are freaking broken.
Dude, I snagged the ball. Whoa, you okay? GoMileHigh.com. We pay attention to sports, so you don't have to.
Live streaming sports and lifestyle, sonically and visually. GoMileHigh.com. They say, you know how you got here and how you got us? Well, here over at GoMileHigh.com, we're an exclusively internet-driven entertainment product. So obviously we're down and active with the social media experience. We get all that. But you can get the full Go Mile High connection by visiting and liking our Facebook page. So you can enjoy the visual, textual, and promotional support our fan page offers while you listen to our program. Here's what you get. You're going to be able to get some exclusive pics, posts, all the tips, and hopefully all that will enrich and expand your Go Mile High experience. You don't know how to do that? All you need to do is click on the Facebook link on our webpage or search us or dial it in directly by typing facebook.com/Go Mile High in your address bar. Dude, check it. Go Mile High. Facebook, find it, like it. You can chill, you can dig around while you listen. Plus, you'll get all the updates on your feed when you're not tuned in. I mean, that's pretty easy enough, right? So sit back and enjoy the experience. GoMileHigh.com. Come on, bro. Do your thing. I mean, that's pretty easy enough, right?
Pack your bags. A broadcasting school is looking for you to study in the USA. The Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus is now accepting students from all over the world for its international training program in radio and TV. For more information, Skype us at BeOnAirUSA or visit beonair.com/USA. You can take classes in English or Spanish. In addition to getting hands-on experience in radio and TV, you will also get to enjoy an active lifestyle in beautiful and sunny Colorado. Our campus is located just an hour away from the mountains and within minutes from downtown Denver and footsteps to Belmar Shopping Center, complete with diverse dining, shopping, and entertainment options. For more information, Skype us at BeOnAirUSA or visit beonair.com/USA. Be on air and be in the USA.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Don't get punched in the mouth with that same old boxing talk. Listen into The Sweet Science, Tuesdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
What are we waiting for?
Every Tuesday, we will give you in-depth boxing coverage with everything from the pro ranks to the amateur ranks, as well as interviews and insights from people within the sport of boxing.
He is the next pound king from when the Pacquiao retires.
Listen into The Sweet Science, Tuesdays 5 to 6 p.m. only on GoMileHigh.com.
Try and stop it. Bang!
Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
The views and or opinions of this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Internet Streaming Corporation or GoMileHigh.com.
This is Chris Von Lohr, and you're listening to The Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show. It is now hour number 2. I am your host, the benevolent benefactor of brazen bombacity, the Rocky Mountain Mouth Michael Titus, manager extraordinaire. And in the hour number 1, we talked to Bronx. We talked about his history, everything going back to when he first started to get in wrestling with Central Wrestling Organization, CWO, all the years leading up to IWF, and now going forth to this Sunday night, New Era Wrestling, when he takes on Joey Kincaid for not only the NEW title, but also it's his retirement match. And just announced, folks, this is something that I'm very proud to announce, that a part of that Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza's VIP access, Wayne DeWayne will be a part of all of those wrestlers that'll be in that VIP access where you can go in, meet and greet, and take your picture and have your autograph taken with all of the people, with Robbie E. and Duff Doyle. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great wrestling weekend of action, access, you name it, it's all going to be there. And Jake Perrant, the greatest producer of all time here at GoMileHigh.com, I understand that we have a caller on the line.
You do indeed.
Who is indeed this person? Welcome to the program.
You should feel welcome. This is the Police Prince.
Oh, my.
I'm trying to wake up after listening to Long Island talk about what a has-been he was, 2001, 2007. Brother, this is 2012. It's a good show that you put on, and I've tried liking it, but... And then you pronounce this card? Really? The Police Prince thinks that card's a joke. None of those men should be even close to the Police Prince. The problem is, the promoters know that when the Police Prince gets in the ring, he's not a pretty boy. He's built to go, unlike Wayne DeWayne. Now this next hour, what, you bringing in piano players or poetic people? What, this Jacqueline recital? What's he going to recite? Which poems does this little boy have? You should be blessed and have the Police Prince come in to your show. Then your females' participation and listening-ship would pick up. Because the Police Prince can't even go to the gym without working while I'm working out without having all of these wannabe women coming up and interrupting me. The guys stare at me because they're amazed what the Polish Prince does. They're like, yesterday, doing deadlifts with 550 pounds, doing reps, not one. And these guys can't even lift half of it. And you got, what, the Michelin Man's baby? The Michelin Man and a midget get together and create this Johnny Crash? Really, he's on the show and the Polish Prince ain't going to wrestle Sunday night? Are you for real, my brother?
Who in the hell are you? Who in the world is this Polish Prince? I've never heard of somebody like you. What is this? You are not lacking for confidence, but I've never heard of you. I've never seen of you.
Brother, you can go on YouTube and see some of the interviews with me. I am electricity personified. I'm from Poland. I represented Poland in the Olympics for wrestling, and I'm a former MMA wrestler. My record was 5-2 with 8 disqualifications. The disqualifications got me banned in many states because when I get somebody in a hold, I don't like to release it. It's such a rush to hear bones popping and breaking.
Well, you know what, Polish Prince, I don't know who you are, and I'm going to have to research you some more because, honestly, I've never heard of a Polish Prince here in the state of Colorado involving with wrestling, and, I can't just take you on your word for it, so I'm going to have to do some research before I allow some nobody to come onto my show. So,
nobody?
Yes, nobody.
So, look for what you said. Jacqueline Mecidol coming up right next to you. I'm a nobody.
Well,
have you seen this body? Come.
To correct it, it's Jack Mecidol. He is not Jacqueline Mecidol. He's not Jackie O or anything. It's Jack Mecidol, the passionate one himself. And I'm glad to introduce to him. He's my dear, close personal friend. And you know what? Polish Prince, if that is your real name, your time is up. Cut the buzzer on him. He's done for. You know what? Because Jack Mecidol, I can't allow somebody like him, some nobody, to come in and interrupt on your time to shine. Jack Mecidol, the very passionate one himself, is indeed on the Michael Titus Show. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And let's get this straight. It's your time to shine as well. This is your show, man.
Yes,
this is your show.
It's my platform to get the opportunity to the listeners to hear from the personalities, as it were, in Colorado wrestling, and you are one of the prevalent figures.
Oh, come on. Thank you.
It's
Thank you
the
so
truth.
Much. Yes.
It's definitely the truth, and, there's just so much that you have done a part of this wrestling business here in Colorado, and, I've got so many questions to ask you. Of
course.
But first and foremost, how are you doing?
Today I'm feeling good. So I was pretty
as
woozy
opposed
this
to what?
morning. Yeah, I wake up and I did 30 minutes of cardio, and, that usually helps, but then I get tired 2 hours later. Then I wake up 2 hours later. So it's like every 2 hours, off and on, tired and awake.
What are you, a dog? You
pretty much.
You
I've been called, Michael, I've been called a dog plenty of times, but, from
I'm not talking
people.
about, in terms of, what you look like or how you, but I'm talking about this whole lifestyle that you just described, that you do things and then 2 hours later you have to take a nap and then you wake up and you feel fine.
It changes it up. Let's just say that. It keeps things fresh.
Is that what it does? It keeps things different.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, let's just start right into it. And I want to get first right off the bat, who was your inspiration in wrestling?
I really have too many to name, but if I had just one inspiration, honestly, especially at first, it was Taz.
Really? Taz? Yeah. Okay. And why? What about Taz? What's special about Taz?
There's plenty of shorter, smaller guys within pro wrestling who became successful, but Taz was one who, he didn't wrestle like the rest of them. He threw guys around. He was a powerhouse. He was intimidating, even though he was only like 5'8". Mm-hmm. And he only had a run for really not too long on ECW. And but I figured, hey, if he can do it, maybe one day I can, despite my short stature as well. Maybe I can intimidate bigger guys and throw them around the ring like rag dolls as well. So,
well, we'll find out more about that most definitely, and what's going on in terms of your career, what you're going to do, what your goals and aspirations are in this business. So stay tuned for more. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Are you sick of those other sports talk stations that only talk about football and baseball? Well, listen to GoMileHigh.com, where all of Colorado's sports lifestyles are fulfilled. From shows like The Corral,
honestly, in a rodeo, the only time it gets real quiet like that is when somebody gets hurt.
to talking about mixed martial arts.
Talk about the main event, Anderson Spider Silva taking on Yushin Thunder Okami.
GoMileHigh.com covers everything Coloradans want to hear about. So tune your computer in to GoMileHigh.com and catch your breath.
Pack your bags. A broadcasting school is looking for you to study in the USA. The Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus is now accepting students from all over the world for its international training program in radio and TV. For more information, Skype us at Broadcasting USA or visit beonair.com/international. You could take classes in English or Spanish, be on the air, and be in the USA. Skype us at Broadcasting USA or visit beonair.com/international.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Hop in the car and ride along with me, Dustin Jonas.
And me, Ben the Bee, on the Power Hour. As we power slide through the world of racing and motorsports along with
automotive news.
Starting this coming up model year, Ford will not offer a CD player as standard package in a vehicle.
It's somewhat surprising, but somewhat
expected.
Yeah, because how many cars can you buy with a cassette player? Local events.
We have the Cummins Rocky Mountain Truck Fest. Entries are open to anybody with a pickup or SUV. All you gotta do is pass tech inspect, costs $30 to get in, burnout competition, drag racing, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, pro truck, diesel.
Test drives and car reviews. I drove a Fiat 500, good gas mileage, 27 city, 38 highway. Has a 1.4 liter, 101 horsepower engine.
News from the world of rally racing, NASCAR, and much, much more, including the Donkey of the Week.
Join us on the Power Hour every Wednesday, 2 to 3, only on Go Mile High.
Brian turned to glance at the pilot, who suddenly had both hands on his stomach and was grimacing in pain. The pilot was having a heart attack. Brian was sitting in a bush plane roaring above the northern wilderness with a pilot who was either dead or in something close to a coma. The plane committed now to crashing, fell like a stone, and Brian braced himself for the crash. Explore new worlds. Find out what happens next by reading the book Hatchet by Gary Paulson. For other great book ideas, visit literacy.gov. A message from the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
This is the beast of nature, the freak, Rob Terry, and you're listening to Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. I don't know who indeed this Polish prince is coming out of nowhere, calling you Jack Mecidol, a passionate man just as such as yourself, calling you Jacqueline Mecidol. I don't understand where he gets this off, and then he's talking about some Long Island boy making reference to Bronx and all this kind of stuff. You know, this man is nuts. I bet he's certifiable. I probably could find papers on him that describes him being as crazy as he portrays himself on the telephone. But before the break, we actually tried to delve in some stuff, but we ran out of time before the break. So you were telling me that Taz was one of your many inspirations, and you saw because of even in spite of his diminutive size being short, he was able to accomplish so much, especially in his short time in ECW. And so that was one of your inspirations. Well, how did you get into wrestling? I mean, where did it all begin?
Well, it kind of began two ways. I know that doesn't make sense at first. When I was 16 years old, I went to look at CWO, which was a guy named Dan Magnus ran CWO. My future trainers actually were just students there at the time, Jeff McAllister and
really,
and
I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah. So, but as a 16-year-old, I couldn't really afford the $3,500 fee.
That's a lot of money for CWO.
Yeah.
Is that where they made their bread and butter? Is from off of the $3,500 training?
So I don't know. Now I heard they would draw about 800 people per show on average. So I
Bronx
guess it evened out. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I wasn't able to join there at the time. So fast forward 4 years. I'm 20 years old. I'm looking in the paper, and there's an ad for a wrestling school that is having Harley Race and Les Thatcher, two legends of this business, coming to do a 2-day seminar. Beginners welcome.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. and that was with a promotion that would later become Fusion Pro Wrestling. And I'm still to this day very grateful of that 2-day little camp, because right off the bat, Les Thatcher, he took all the experienced guys in the ring, and it was just me and 3 other beginners working with Harley Race.
Wow.
So the first guy to officially show me anything at all for whatever it's worth, and to me it's worth a lot, it was Harley Race.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that, it was about 20 minutes of just us and him. It was
and this
cool.
was in 2003?
2004.
2004, actually.
Summer of 2004.
All right.
Yes. And Jeff McAllister, I guess the original Sarge, or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Psycho Sarge. Him and Tommy Boucher offered me a spot with, at the time it was called High Velocity Wrestling, if I remember correctly. It eventually evolved into Fusion.
Oh, okay.
And
all
Jeff
right.
McAllister
I didn't know
was
that.
the one
Okay.
Yeah. And he only charged me $1,200 for the school, which till this day is a steal for any wrestling
From what I
academy.
understand, Fusion later started charging for its
They started
trainings.
charging just about double.
Yes.
From what I understand, too,
Mhm.
from what I hear
Yeah.
or heard back then. But at the time, this is right before it became Fusion. And I actually started out also, 2 other inspirations who got me into wrestling locally was Lonnie Valdez and Ryan Epic.
Okay.
And I met them through the gym they worked at, which I worked out at, the 24 Hour Fitness.
Mhm.
And they're the ones who told me about everything. They let me referee a couple Saga shows. This is before I ever even learned how to wrestle. So
Really?
all within
Okay.
one summer. I forgot to mention that, but that is worth mentioning. That happened right before that little camp I went to.
So you started reffing for Saga back in the summer of 2004, and then you went into that camp.
Yes.
And you were training with Harley Race. 20 minutes, you said. It was with you and 2 other guys?
Yes. And then, throughout the day, Jeff and Harley would, switch off with the beginners and for both days. And it was pretty cool. A really genuine experience. I would say possibly, unless you start out at a wrestling school that a quote-unquote name runs, it was a pretty valuable experience that not too many other people can say they had.
Well, I mean, I think that's quite interesting in itself to have Harley Race. Now, was he actually in the ring and he was training you, or how
in
did
the
that
ring,
work out?
Like, we were outside the ring
Okay.
at the first part.
All right.
And he was just teaching us headlocks, how to lock up, how to put
Yeah.
on a hammer lock. He's the reason I found out initially that I had happy feet.
Oh, yes.
I was shuffling around
Uh-huh,
instead
yeah.
of the proper footwork, so he helped me with that.
Awesome.
So I do take it for granted. I'm sorry, I do not take it for granted, of course. And it was a really cool experience that I'll never forget.
You take it to heart, meaning that you really, it was a genuine moment and it's something that you'll never forget.
Well, God, yeah. How many other guys besides his students can say they've had that?
And what I say, the reason I say that is an ironic and an awesome moment is that because I actually got to meet Harley Race in 2010, and
Right.
he unfortunately was not physically able to do a lot of the in-ring stuff and the teaching anymore. He was just more kind of like an advisor, a supervisor role at that particular point in time. So it's interesting that you go 6 years earlier, he was still able to do a lot of that stuff and kind of at least get in the ring and show you at least headlocks and try to
Right.
help you with the footwork and things like that instead of just sitting from afar and just kind of critiquing you.
Oh, yes, very.
You know, so
and a
that's
very
cool.
interesting thing that happened the following day. I was late because I got a speeding ticket.
Oh,
and I
yeah?
got to talk to him for a little bit, just one-on-one. And he told me a really funny story about Ric Flair, how he was drunk in his back seat and snow was piling on the back of Ric Flair's head because his head is hanging out of the window. And, just one-on-one time like that, I mean, I'll never forget it.
You can't take, those moments are just something that you'll cherish, that you'll
Right.
never get an opportunity to sit and talk with Harley Race.
Yeah.
It's just one of those rare opportunities. But so then you did that. That was that summer. Well, did anything come out of that for the rest of 2004?
I just trained the rest of 2004 because
Yeah.
I didn't have my first match till the beginning of 2005. So
Oh, is
it
that
took
when
about
you got it?
4 or 5 months to get
Yeah.
my first match. Yeah.
Okay.
Valentine's Day weekend, to be exact, of 2005. My first match against a 17-year-old Paul Diamond at the Buffalo Rose, of all places.
Really?
Yeah.
So was that for IWF that you worked for him, or who did you work for?
It was HVW again, like a month before they became Fusion.
Oh, so HVW was running at the Buffalo Rose too, or one of the many venues that they
Right.
went to. Awesome. That is kind of interesting to find this history. There's so much rich history in Colorado wrestling. I mean, we see a lot of the bad, but we try to remember a lot of the good, and it's kind of interesting that we
I try to remember the good, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? There's still so much to come. There's still so much we got to delve in terms of what Jack Mecidol is all about. So you need to stay tuned for more, because this is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com, and I'm sitting here with Jack Mecidol. You don't want to miss it.
on your desktop, on your laptop. Sports and lifestyle drops right here. Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
Picture this. You're at home and you have no radio signal. All you get is static. So instead of hearing the latest news in the sports world, you're singing in the shower. Come on now, you owe it to yourself to have GoMileHigh.com streaming live through your computer while you're in the comfort of your own home.
Yes, quite absolutely right.
Online and worldwide. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
Pack your bags. A broadcasting school is looking for you to study in the USA. The Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus is now accepting students from all over the world for its international training program in radio and TV. For more information, Skype us at BeOnAirUSA or visit beonair.com/USA. You can take classes in English or Spanish. In addition to getting hands-on experience in radio and TV, you will also get to enjoy an active lifestyle in beautiful and sunny Colorado. Our campus is located just an hour away from the mountains and within minutes from downtown Denver and footsteps to Belmar Shopping Center, complete with diverse dining, shopping, and entertainment options. For more information, Skype us at BeOnAirUSA or visit beonair.com/USA. Be on air and be in the USA.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Pitchers and catchers don't report until February 18th, but there's still a lot to talk about this offseason in baseball. So listen to the Hot Corner every Saturday from 12 to 1 with me, Greg Kimmick.
Well hit to deep center field. This ball's out of here.
Every week I'll discuss a different third baseman, past or present, and listen up for the Fun Fact segment, all the off-season trades, free agent signings, and predictions for the 2012 season. Always stay alert at the Hot Corner every Saturday from 12 to 1 Mountain Time.
Play ball.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
This is the best independent wrestler in the state of Colorado, the Superstar, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. And during the break, I had got a tweet from the evil genius himself, the man by any means necessary as possible, Mr. Titus Machiavelli, the greatest manager in the state of California is where he's from, California. And he says that he wants to manage you out in California, Jack Mecidol. He really believes that you could be a future WWE champion.
That can't happen soon enough.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of great things. But I understand, Mr. Jake Perrant, that Romeo is on the line.
Indeed.
Yo.
Hey, Romeo, all the way from Houston, Texas. What's going on, my man?
Nothing much. I looked on Facebook and I noticed that Jack Mecidol is on your show, and I'm a huge Jack Mecidol fan. So I need to call in and just say hi to Jack.
Hello, Romeo. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are things out there? I've been watching your tweets and watching your Facebook. It looks like you're doing big things out in Denver now that I'm gone.
Yeah, well, you opened up quite a bit of room. How's Houston?
No, Jack. Yeah, by all means, you've always kept the Colorado dominant out there. But, hey, just so you know, there's a window of opportunity in Houston. So anytime you're looking to come down south, I know the promotions I'm working for would love to have you.
Oh, thank you, man. That's really cool. I appreciate that.
I know I'm working for Texas All-Star Wrestling down here in Houston, and I've already mentioned a few names in the Denver metro area of the Indies, and your name always comes up. So Texas is definitely looking forward to seeing Jack Mecidol out here in Houston.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll email you for sure.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Romeo. I mean, it's a great opportunity to always hear you. I know they love to hear you on the Full Nelson, but it's nice to hear that, you actually are talking in with the actual Colorado Indie Wrestling show here in Colorado. So.
I'm following Colorado Indie Wrestling to a T. I follow all you guys. Michael Titus, I follow your show. Full Nelson, I follow their show. So I have nothing but mad love and respect for the Denver indie scene. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing big things, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing down here in Houston. And like I said, Jack, and to all the other indie wrestlers out there that are listening, the door and the window of opportunity down here in Houston is open. I keep blowing you guys up. Denver's a great place to learn, and that's where I got my start. So I'm going to give you guys nothing but love. Like I said, Jack, keep doing what you're doing. I see big things in your future, and I can't wait to see you on Raw or SmackDown again. All right?
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you, Romeo. Have a good day, and good luck to you in Houston. All right, so we were talking about it, and you had your first match. It was Valentine's Day weekend, February 2005.
Yes.
Who was your first opponent?
Paul Diamond.
Paul Diamond, that's right. It was at the Buffalo Rose. It was for High Velocity Wrestling. And did you continue on each and every month having matches thereafter?
I did for about 3 months before I broke my foot.
You broke your foot?
Yes.
What happened with that? How did that happen?
Training with Dustin Urich. And
I got to watch out for that Dustin Urich. He's
a
real piece of work, yeah.
I landed on my foot wrong doing a backflip.
Okay.
And I broke 3 bones on my foot.
How long did that take you out of action?
Let's say 5 months.
5 months?
4 to 5 months. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you came back in the fall of 2005, what happened then?
I just pretty much picked up where I left off, teamed with Jeff McAllister a little bit, and wrestled for Fusion. Now, at the time, Fusion, they just started, they influenced the new policy where if you're going to wrestle for them, you can't wrestle for anyone else.
It was an exclusivity clause, and I understand
inside
that.
the state, that is, not the country, but the state.
Okay.
And I understand it, too.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was kind of like, that kind of sucks.
Right.
Because, being a young worker, you want to work everywhere you can as much as you can, especially in your home state. But looking back on it, I kind of understand where they were coming from.
Well, most definitely. So, how long were you with Fusion all the way up until it closed in 2009?
All the way up until it closed. There was a 1 month instance where I did something not so smart, and I left and I did a Saga show. And they weren't too thrilled about that.
No, I wouldn't imagine they would be too thrilled about that. So,
right.
But you were still welcome back, and you were able to continue.
Yeah, I had to kind of restart for a couple of months, press the reset button, but
right.
I came back. And
any memorable moments in that 3-year time period that you were with Fusion before it closed down?
I had some really good matches there. One with Matt Yaden. There was a ladder match with Paul Diamond and Stoney, and I think there was almost 500 people in the crowd for that match, which is insane for a Colorado indie. There was a show where they had AJ Styles wrestle Paul Diamond, and they brought in Bobby Lashley as a surprise partner for those two later on in the night.
Right.
This is all within Fusion.
Yeah, of course.
There's things I did outside of Fusion during those 3 years, but within Fusion, I don't know. It's pretty. I don't know. Jeff McAllister is really good. He had some really decent connections, and he'd constantly bring in guys to run camps, which is always good for newer guys like I was.
Right now, and was it through like a Jeff McAllister and Fusion that you were able to get any of your opportunities with WWE and trying to get connections with tryouts and things like that?
No, well, Jeff introduced me to the theory of trying out. So as far as like let's say the Harley race camp or whatever, I would put in my own name. The WWE tryout thing technically is a tryout. I was an extra. I just sent in my own information without telling anybody, because that's what you really should be doing. You shouldn't rely on anybody in this business to get you anywhere. So that's what I did. I sent in my
surprising how it works that way.
Yeah, and some guys still don't get it, but hey, whatever. And it's funny, when I got that tryout, there was a couple of guys here, I won't mention names, who gave me a little bit of grief for not putting their name in as well.
No, absolutely. And I understand that, because, they feel that other people should be looking out for them, but it's at the same time, if you don't have an opportunity yet, say you haven't been signed or you haven't any, concrete deals, you can't go out and stick out your neck for someone else. It's all about you.
Independent wrestler.
Yes, exactly. Independent contractor. Yeah. That's indeed what we are, and so... Right. There's those times like that. So, and when was it not until like 2010 that you started going after these tryouts and things like that? Or did you do it in 2009?
The WWE one was in 2009.
Yes.
And of course, that's my major one.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to be at the Pepsi Center. They got booted out because the Nuggets. Yeah. And me, Jesse Williams, Matt Yaden, and here comes a name drop for you, Martin Casaus, before he was on Tough Enough. You're all supposed to be extras. So we all called WWE offices the next day saying, please get us on a show anywhere.
Yeah.
So Martin and Yaden went to a show, and 2 tapings in LA, and me and Jesse went to 4 tapings a month later in Sacramento, and a couple more cities in Northern California.
So then that's when you got your opportunity to go up against Ezekiel Jackson.
Yep.
All right. Well, you know what? We're going to talk about that because there's a lot more to talk about with Jack Mecidol here. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Colorado sports lifestyle.
Catch your breath.
Go Mile High.
Oh, dude, look over there. Wow. Oh, forget that. Look what just came around the corner. I'll buy her a hot dog. Holy smokes, is this not the greatest place on earth?
How about the one in the red? No, the next row down.
Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Is that her mom?
Her too.
Nice. Oh, jeez, my nails are freaking broken. Dude, I snagged the ball. Whoa, you okay? GoMileHigh.com. We pay attention to sports, so you don't have to.
Once upon a time, old Scrooge sat down before the fire.
Humbug.
With great astonishment, Marley's ghost came through the heavy door and passed into the room.
What do you want with me?
You will be haunted by 3 spirits. I'd rather not. To read A Christmas Carol and other books online, go to www.read.gov. Explore new worlds. Read. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
What's going on? What's going on? Go Mile High.
Hey, basketball fans, the Colorado Kings are making a run at history. Don't miss your chance to catch the nation's #1 ranked ABA basketball team right here on GoMileHigh.com. Every Friday at 1 p.m., you can get the inside scoop on the team with head coach Eric Stoffel on the Colorado Kings Coaches Show. You can also catch live play-by-play of the Kings' Sunday home games right here on GoMileHigh.com. For more information on games, times, or tickets, check out GoMileHigh.com or ColoradoKings.com.
Looking for a new place to play? Check out the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. We bring Colorado athletes the best sports and fitness information from in and around the Denver metro area. Find leagues, teams, camps, clinics, tournaments, and training in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. Visit coloradosportsandfitness.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for daily updates and specials from our sports and fitness providers. Remember, coloradosportsandfitness.com, the Colorado athletes' #1 resource for sports and fitness information.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Hi, this is Aaron the Candyman, and you're listening to Michael Titus, the Michael Titus Radio Show at GoMileHigh.com.
This is the Michael Titus Show, GoMileHigh.com, and for all of you out there that are interested, and I've just been informed to let you all know that this Friday night at Red and Jerry's, it's Primo's Evo Lucha. Friday, March 9th, 6:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it because I understand Brokeback Billy is going up against La Bestia Salvaje. And as we all know and as we've all talked about, La Bestia Salvaje is probably the baddest man on the planet. Even Mike Tyson himself would cower to this man right here. So you all need to go out there and check this out. Red and Jerry's, Friday night, Primo's Evolucha. But for right now, it is now time to continue on talking with the one and only Jack Mecidol, the man who had a match on ECW with Ezekiel Jackson himself. Tell me all about that match, sir.
Best night of my life, easily.
Obviously, you're working for the World Wrestling Entertainment. You're out there, you're having a match, and you're going up against a name, and actually on televised. Yeah. It's televised. It's not just some dark match.
Nationwide, yeah.
It's that's something that, not many people can claim to have. I mean, even our own Martin Casas, he's on just a Tough Enough show. He's not an actual on Raw or SmackDown or ECW, which was one of the television programs they had for a while.
Yes.
So
it was a very positive experience. I mean, I was on like a ridiculous high after that match. It was only a 2-minute match, but good God, like I had Ricky Steamboat was our agent. I remember I had a really bad cold.
Yeah.
Really bad head cold. And we're standing in Gorilla getting ready to go out. And, there's Vince sitting there, Laurinaitis, Finley, the agents, all in front of their monitors. And I'm trying so hard not to cough because
if you cough, they're going to say, well, we're going to have to cut you because you're not physically able to compete.
Yeah. We don't want you making one of our superstars sick.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Bring in someone else. So, yeah, I was really worried about that happening. So
it was interesting. Also, we noticed that they called you Jack Mecidol.
Yeah, I told about 3 or 4 people how to say my name, how to spell it. Matt Stryker, one of them, who was doing commentary that night. Right when I got in the ring, I told Justin Roberts, the ring announcer, because he asked, and for some reason, it didn't go through.
Jack Mecidol. I don't know how you get Mecidol from Mecidol. I don't know, but
Yeah. Well, I should have just changed my name after that if I was smart.
I mean, I honestly thought maybe that they changed the name. Like they try to change people's names when they come to WWE. So I don't know. I thought that was what it was, but they just didn't understand how to pronounce Mecidol.
They didn't. You tell an indie ring announcer twice how to say it, and he'll get it right. But a $1 billion company with people running around, they just couldn't get it.
You tell Justin Roberts, who I've noticed lately is not the best ring announcer around. He's been messing up quite frequently on Monday Night Raw, and it's quite interesting how that works out. He is indeed no Howard Finkel.
Hey, nobody's Howard Finkel.
Nobody's Howard Finkel, But hey, I can't say anything bad about Justin Roberts. Hey, I'm jealous of him. I'm jealous that he's got that opportunity. Hell, I'm even jealous of Jerry the King Lawler that he gets to sit out there every week.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things, But you said you had a great high after that match and everything, and then what has happened since then?
Well, about a month or two after that match, Fusion shut down.
Yes. Was about August or the summer of 09?
Yes. I was actually in class at my school. I was going to DeVry University at the time, and I was getting texts. And, being a student these days, I pulled out my phone during class and looked at all the texts.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
And I had very mixed emotions about it because part of me was like, yeah, I can wrestle around, all these other promotions here now. And then the other part of me is pretty sad because, call it favoritism, but it really... Especially at the time, nobody could touch Fusion.
No, and Fusion was head and shoulders above any of the promotions around here. And I believe that there are some promotions that could break that ceiling if possible, if they really try
possible.
hard. But Fusion had set the bar so high in terms of everything that they were putting out there, not only in terms of the wrestling product, but the actual production, everything that they were doing. I thought from what little bit I did get to see in some of the videos, they were able to accomplish such as...
A big reason for that, obviously, Billy Roberts and Jeff McAllister were great trainers.
So that's his last name. All I've overheard was his name was Billy V.
Billy V, yeah. His real name's Billy Roberts. He could be really hard. Jeff McAllister is really hard. Jeff McAllister, I think, till this very day, still holds a bench press record.
Well, doesn't that a lot have to do with his military background too? That he's kind of, he likes to,
He wasn't in the military.
He wasn't in the military.
No, he was just a super duper athlete his whole life.
So they called him Sarge for no reason.
I believe he was just given that. I could be wrong, but he was given that by Dan Magnus. I could be wrong because he looks like the Sarge from WCW, Sergeant. I want to say Buddy Lee Parker, who ran the power plant. That guy.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not familiar with that guy. So.
That's what I heard. Yeah. They're very strict. That's why we wrestled so good. That's why Fusion ran so
everything
pristine.
Was crisp. Everything was tight. Yes.
Snug. It
yes.
wasn't, you're late to a show. It's okay, man. No big deal. No, it was like, what? You're late? What do you mean you're late? And, maybe have you take about 20 bumps at practice the following week. You never know.
Absolutely. They really were stern. But, that's why their product was the best.
Yes.
And there's no question about it. I believe that anybody could say that it was hands down the best. And no matter what they tried to do, they weren't able to compete. Any of the companies that were around at the time, Fusion was in existence. And so, that's... But, so then it closed down. What did you do?
I worked for the other promotions around here. And I've always been fond of going out of state to work.
Yeah.
And have matches as well. I actually kind of prefer that. Just to get my name out there, and it's you seem more like a mainstream guy. If you
and it's a great opportunity that you were able to work any of those shows that WWE was gave you, because not many guys have the opportunity to just up and leave for a couple of weeks or a couple of for show dates around the country like the way WWE operates.
Yeah.
So that's a great feather in your cap that you were able to accomplish that. And in the past 3 years you've been able to work around with some of the promotions, and most recently, in the last year or two, you've been able to work for Metro Pro Wrestling, which I've heard a lot of great things about them, and I want you to at least talk about a little bit of your experience about what you have out there in Metro Pro Wrestling out there, and what's going on out there, and why they have such a great product for themselves. And so, when we get back from the break, you can talk all about that. And But again, I tell all you, stay tuned because I got to talk to you more about that wrestling weekend extravaganza. There has been some corporate changes, as it were, when it comes to NRW and UWA, so you got to hear about that. And don't forget about that VIP access. Wayne DeWayne and Duff Doyle are going to be there with the TNA TV champ, Robbie E. You don't want to miss it Friday and Saturday night. It's just a few extra bucks on your ticket price. You don't want to miss it, but I'm going to talk to you all about that, so stay tuned for more. This is the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Let's see what's happening in sports today.
I think Tim's earned the right to be the starting quarterback going into training camp next year.
No.
How about that, Tim Tebow? Throwing those left-handed passes out there?
Heard this before.
If Tebow wants to throw his helmet into the ring, I'll vote for him for president tomorrow. I'm a big fan.
Tired of hearing about Tim Tebow. That's it. I'm going to www.gomilehigh.com. They have more than just your typical sports. You can catch up in the world of soccer.
This is going to be another good one. I'm expecting Real Madrid to do well. Again.
And you'll be wrong. Again.
Wrestling and MMA.
The flips she had in that fight.
She took old girl on a ride. Her nickname should be the Carney.
Listen to some play-by-play for Denver's own ABA team, the Colorado Kings.
Here's Ryan McBride bringing it up court, setting up plays for the Kings in white. Dickey again for three?
Oh! Listen in on GoMileHigh.com and catch up on the world around you.
Go Mile High.
Hey, John, why do you keep hitting yourself in the head with that hammer?
Well, I found this really great home. It's a Fannie Mae foreclosure, and it needs some renovations, but I don't know who to talk to about getting financing on this type of home.
You should call the mortgage team of Jennifer Hill and Matt Harris at American Liberty Mortgage. They were able to get me and my husband a renovation loan, and we were able to finance all the rehab costs.
Really?
Yeah, and they're really easy to work with, and interest rates are really low right now.
Do you have their number?
Of course I do. You can call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042. That's 303-901-6042. Now put that hammer on the ground and back away slowly.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Valderon de Oliveira. What I like about him is that he's a tall cowboy.
Go MileHigh.com.
The Corral.
And you'd think that the more leg, the easier it is to hold on. But when you've got that much torso above the bull, the fulcrum point makes it harder to hold on. So usually the shorter cowboys are more successful. But this tall guy, he has ridden 56 bulls. 39 of them he stayed on.
The Corral with Kelly Brogan. Weekday evenings, 6 to 7 on Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com. GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
This is the Canadian Pitbull, Eric Angel, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Very ferocious. That's what you are, Jack Mecidol.
It's a rare side to me.
You're very fierce.
Yes.
That's the thing, and I think that comes well in hand with all of your extracurricular activities and all the acting and the performance art that you perform, that
Yes.
you can, that fierceness is really
it helps.
an integral part of it. But, okay, Fusion closed down. You started working for all the other promotions, and, then what? What's going to be happening? What's going to be going on? You said that you did that. Oh, we're going to talk about Metro Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we are. See, they've got so much going on. I didn't even remember what I talked to you about. So tell me about Metro Pro Wrestling.
Metro is by far the best promotion in the Midwest. They have their own TV show. It's based out of Kansas City, Missouri. They have Trevor Murdoch, Derek Stone, Mark Sterling, Mike Seidel, who's WWE superstar Evan Bourne's brother, who also works down there, and they bring out names. The first ever Metro show I worked, Tommy Dreamer was on it, as well as Adam Pierce. So,
who else works for them?
Colt went down there once. We got probably, I'd say, the most talented guy in the Midwest. No disrespect to anyone else, Jeremy Wyatt.
Jeremy Wyatt.
He blows me out of the water. I mean, nobody can. There's us, and then there's Jeremy Wyatt. You know what I mean? And I encourage a lot of other people to go online and watch his matches.
They got a lot of big guys there too, don't they?
Yes, there's some bigger guys. trying to think who else. I feel like such an idiot not thinking of all these other names.
But your good friend Mark Sterling's out there.
Yes, yeah.
So there's
he's one of my
that,
best friends.
So he's out there, and of course out there in Kansas City, it's not too far away from Eldon, Missouri, where
Right.
Harley Race is at,
And they use some of his guys too.
They use some of his guys,
Yeah.
and so that and I understand that it's really booming out there, and a lot of people have told me they're like. There's this guy out there they had for a while, this manager. I don't know who he is, but they've said that that either I'm a copycat of him or he's a copycat of me. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who this guy is, and I've never seen him before. And quite possibly, what little video I did see of him, I didn't think that he was anywhere near Michael Titus status.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you guys are similar at all.
No.
To be honest, I like both of you.
But one thing that I think is interesting is that how come I understand that Derek Stone comes out to Metro Pro Wrestling and he's terrorizing that place, Kansas City, but for some reason I can't get him here to Denver. The handlers that I had monitoring him, he broke loose from the chains while they were sleeping, and now he's roaming countrysides. He's all over the Midwest, and now he occasionally stops into Metro Pro Wrestling. I don't know how people control him. He's a wild beast.
He is wild. He's a bear.
I mean, thank goodness there's, you can, carve out shanks from wood and things like that,
Yeah.
and the rocks out there that way he can shave and cut off that beard of his and his hair sometimes. But for some time, he's not civilized like the rest of us.
No, he's not. I don't think he eats normal people food.
I don't think he does eat. I think he eats lots of nuts and berries and just whatever shrubbery he can find out in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
The man is just outrageous.
Yeah.
But
he does what he wants.
So, and you, from time to time, you go out to Kansas City and you work their shows out there at Metro Pro Wrestling. So, and you said you've been a very big advocate of actually wrestling outside of the state of Colorado to get your name out there. And
right.
You've done that. And has there been any other states and that you've been working for other than Kansas City, Missouri?
Most notably in Atlanta, Georgia, there's Platinum Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
That is ran unlike any other promotion I've seen ran, and it's very, very good. It's ran by a guy named Steve Platinum. He really knows what he's doing. He really knows his craft. It's a mix of theater and wrestling, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
Especially coming from where I've come from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. That's awesome. I mean, I would like to, if I get the opportunity to go out to Atlanta to speak with that individual and see what he's all about and catch one of those Platinum wrestling shows. That'd be awesome to see, But what are you doing as of late? What's going on with Jack Mecidol lately in terms of his wrestling career?
Well, almost a year ago I had a knee injury, so it's still not completely healed. So I'm wrestling here and there, not as much as I used to. I'm doing the whole 9-to-5 thing for the city of Denver. And I'm planning on going back to school. I just got to get the financial aid thing taken care of this summer.
So, I mean, are you still pursuing a career in wrestling? Do you pursue?
It's hard for me to just stop.
Yeah.
Really.
You can't give it up.
Too much. I mean, maybe when I'm 30 or something, but I turn 28 next week, so I'm really running out of time. But, it was one of my goals was to move out of Colorado because everyone, including Johnny Laurinaitis, told me that. You got to get out of Colorado because there's way more bigger hotbeds outside of Colorado. The wrestling here is good. It's just not getting the attention it deserves.
Nobody knows it exists. I think that I've spoken with a lot of people that have gone to tryouts, and Al Snow most notably says there's wrestling in Colorado.
Yep. I was there when he said that.
Yeah. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, nobody knows that it exists because we are not mainstream enough. We don't get enough attention, and just nobody, outside of YouTube, nobody knows that we exist. So it's kind of one of those things. And so, a lot of us are trying to do what we can to get ourselves out of here, and not that we hate Colorado. We love living here. We just can't work in wrestling. It's a great place to live.
Do not get me wrong. It's a wonderful place to live.
We just can't work in wrestling here. That's just the problem with that,
right.
So
but there's more hotbeds where more attention's given. I really want to work for NWA Hollywood, which gets a lot of attention. Do you know they have celebrities in their front row? Like
NWA Hollywood?
Yeah.
Really?
Ron Jeremy, for instance. They have the guy who was
He's the most notable celebrity in your book?
In my book, yes. I can't speak for anyone else.
I was like, wait a minute now.
No, they have TV stars and stuff show up, the sit in the front row.
Yeah, but Ron Jeremy's on the list with Kathy Griffin, so, I mean,
he is. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
we can't really, put him up there with, the Brad Pitts and the Angelina Jolies and the Johnny Depps of the world.
I lied about Taz. It's really Ron Jeremy. He's my most notable. Yeah, well, he's the reason I got into wrestling.
Well, we know why there's some similarities in that reason, but, like I said, Jack, you're something else. You're unbelievable. That's for sure. You make people speechless when they're around you. I don't know what that's all about. But again, what's coming up is that the Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza, something has changed. Now, everyone knows that Swan Christopher owns New Revolution Wrestling, and I own Ultimate Wrestling Alliance. Well, we've come to an agreement, and Titus Enterprises is allowing Ultimate Wrestling Alliance to merge with New Revolution Wrestling, and we're all coming under one banner, NRW Sports Entertainment, with Bethany Allred at the head. So you need to stay tuned for more, because I got to talk to you about that Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Live streaming sports and lifestyle, sonically and visually. GoMileHigh.com.
Did you see the game last night?
No.
Me neither. Wish I knew the score.
Hey, what's that up in the sky?
It's a long drive.
It's a hot fly. It's Superman!
Did I hear someone in need of sports?
Oh, yes! Superfan, I need sports.
Well then, GoMileHigh.com is what you need. We've got all the sports you can handle.
Oh, thank you, Superfan.
Catch your breath.
The unexpected in the horse world can be costly. Don't wait to have a claim to find out. Why not take advantage of the insurance experts that are in your backyard? Equisure, located right here in Colorado. Because Equisure employs insurance people who are horse owners, competitors, and equestrian participants. They really know the equestrian insurance industry inside and out. Their personal involvement means the insurance solutions are up to date and will work for you. To get a quote, visit equisure-inc.com or call 1-800-752-2472.
Live streaming sports and lifestyle, sonically and visually. GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome to the Press Box.
You basically trade away Jay Cutler for Kyle Orton and some draft picks, and then you draft a quarterback?
Recorded live in Lakewood, Colorado, the Press Box is your source for online sports news and updates.
I just had an awesome thought on the radio right there. That was just great.
Daily, 3 to 5 p.m. You can say yourself.
I mean,
take it easy out.
Yeah, I am probably the best player.
1, your roof collapses. 2, Hurricane Katrina. 3, terrorist attacks. And then 4, lightning.
The Press Box, 3 to 5 p.m. on GoMileHigh.com.
Hello, car of teenagers. If you don't mind, I'm only going to broadcast this out of the speaker on the passenger side so we can talk in private. Okay, now that we're alone, what's with your friend's driving? Is he always this reckless? You should say something witty. Make a joke about the airbag or something. Hearses are funny, too. You could make a joke about hearses. Driver, just so you know, we're totally not talking about you. He suspects nothing.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and SpeakUpOrElse.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
This is the counterculture superhero, Trajan Ender, coming to you from the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
All right. Like I said, NRW Sports Entertainment. We're all under the same banner, New Revolution Wrestling and Ultimate Wrestling Alliance, with Bethany Allred at the head. Swan Christopher and myself have to work together. The board of directors has agreed to this, and so it's just kind of unfortunate that it has to happen like this, because I don't believe Swan Christopher is a competent man when it comes to wrestling. He may know his stuff when it comes to video cameras and lighting and things like that, but he doesn't know when it comes to wrestling. And so I've had a lot of conversations with Bethany Allred, and I've informed her that I don't believe that he is up to the challenge. So let's just and see if it's going to happen, what's going to transpire with New Revolution Wrestling and Ultimate Wrestling Alliance. But indeed, that we are going to have a VIP access with Robbie E., the TNA TV champion. He's going to be here for the entire Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza. And on Friday night at Fun City, he's going to be in there. And Duff Doyle has been announced for that night, as well as someone else who will be named by next week. And then for UWA, when Robbie E. is there in the beginning for the VIP access. He is going to be with Wayne DeWayne, my newest acquisition, the fitness guru himself, and it's just it's an unbelievable thing. We're going to have some more people named, but just for a few extra bucks on your ticket price, you're going to be able to get special seating, special time to come into the building, and that special meet and greet, which you can get your picture taken and have an autograph with the guy. So it's going to be a lot of great things coming for that. I understand that Danger Dean is going to be on the card. Hoodlum's going to be there. Duff Doyle, Wayne DeWayne, Superstar. Tyler Cintron is going to be there, the wrestling sensation from Utah. Matt Yaden, Chris Von Lohr. Lil Mac is going to be there, unfortunately, with Doc Taylor. Robbie E., of course, is going to be there. And, of course, the NRW champion, Jesse Williams. And then coming up on UWA Ultimate Wrestling Alliance, my show, we're going to have, of course, pretty much the same cast of characters because we only book the best of the best here in Colorado, and it's also going to be the UWA champion Fallout. I told him that he has to be in attendance this time, that we will find him the proper competition. It's not going to just be that he can come in out of nowhere and just say, I'm taking the night off. He doesn't get that right just because he's the UWA champion. But all that to come next week. We're just 9 and 10 days away from that big weekend, but you got to stay tuned. There's, of course, Primo's Evolution Friday night, and then NEW Sunday night at the Buffalo Rose. Jack Mecidol, is there anything else you would like to say to the listeners at home about who Jack Mecidol is and what he's all about and what's to come from Jack Mecidol?
Well, let's just say I'm the most passionate guy around. I may hurt my opponents, but then I make the crowd smile. And guess what? Scrape my opponents off the ground, take it out for the night of the town, make them smile by the end of the night too. Everyone should be happy when they're around the passionate one,
Most definitely, and I really appreciate you coming on the show. It's been a long time coming. I've wanted to get you here on the show, and of course, there were some conflicts last week that we couldn't bring you in, and so therefore it's wonderful that you were able to come in this week, and I hope that there's going to be many great things to come because I foresee a great future for myself, and I foresee a great future for you as well. So passionate one, I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. On the Pitch is up next with Ronnie Lee. This has been the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com. Michael Titus signing off. Until next week, so long.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.